Hi Miss, I'm the group leader and my name is Pavitra. Thus my group mates has came to one point that we're going to present about Marginalist School. In this Marginalist School has 5 major questions. The first question will be what was the historical background of the school. The second is what were the major tenets of the school, followed by whom did the school benefit or seek to benefit. The fourth question will be how was the school valid, useful or correct in its time. And the last one is which tenets of the school became lasting contributions.
Hello everyone, I am FANG. My matric number is BT12403. Today I would like to present about the historical background of the Marginalist School. After beginning of the Industrial Revolution, economic and social problems remained unresolved, despite the dramatic increase in productivity. But the problem of poverty persists. Although living standards are constantly improving, the uneven distribution of wealth and income has caused great dissatisfaction. Business volatility has adversely affected many people such as farmers and industrial workers. In 19th century, 3 European economists, namely Carl Marx, William Stanley Jevons, and Leo Wallace, proposed the concept of marginalism and sought some solutions. Socialism, government regulation, and unionism to eliminate abuse and redistribute income are one of the trends that will solve. All 3 methods ignore the rules of classical economics. Marginalists fought against these trends, defending free market, condemning socialism, opposing unionism, and criticizing government interference. The early marginalists concluded that rent was unearned income and immoral, and that labor created all the value.
Marginalist school has 10 major tenets. First, which is the focus on margin. Marginalist school focuses its observation on the point of change where conclusions are reached. Second, rational economic behavior. Marginalist school presume that people act logically in determining marginal utilities of different goods and in stabilizing current time that was based on Jeremy Bentham theory. Third, demand-oriented theory. Marginalist schools swear to reverse extreme demand as primary force in price determination. Number 4, equilibrium approach. Marginalists think that economy force normally cultivate toward equilibrium, which is balancing of the resist force. Number 5, which is minimum government involvement. Marginalist school agrees that classical school is most likely desirable policy that has little government involvement in economy. Next, number 6, which is microeconomy emphasize. Marginalist school contemplate as individual decision making and the market condition is for single type of output in specific firms. Major tenets number 7, which is the use of abstract and deductive methods. Marginalist school refused the historical method by German historical school. That's why Ricardo started with basic premises, then used logic to infer generalization. Number 8, pure competition emphasis. Based on marginalist school analysis, they assume that the market was pure competition because there is no individual or firm with enough economic power to influence market price easily. Number 9, emphasis on subjective utility. Demand is based on marginal utility, which is subjective, is phenomenon. A person's marginal utility is the benefit gained from consuming an additional unit of certain good. Last but not least, the merger of land with capital goods. In marginalist school, land and capital resources are combined. The return to poverty resources can be interest, rent, and profits. The profit to landowner from interest theory is usually combined by marginalists.
The third question, whom did the school benefit or seek to benefit? The first one is employers. And employers benefit from this type of theory by opposing unions and attributing unemployment to wages that were artificially high, inflexible on the downward side, or both. And then theory, liberalism, political conservatism, economic history benefit those who wishes to retain the status quo, that is, those who oppose the change, despite the fact that the majority of them did not fully comprehend the notion. And then next, landowner. Marginalism also defend landowner against attack based on Ricardian rent theory, according to which rent is the portion of the earth's produce that is paid to the landlord in exchange for the soil originality and indestructible powers. And last, this school also favored the wealthy, who were often opposed to government involvement that will redistribute income.
The fourth question is, how was the school valid, useful or correct in its time? The school developed new tools for analysis such as geometrical diagrams and mathematical techniques, making economics more of an exact science. The composition fallacy is an informal fallacy that occurs when one implies that something is true of the entire component. The method of partial analysis is useful that it allows the investigation of complex phenomena by allowing one variable to change at a time. Next, the government intervention would also be unproductive because the economy was designed to self-regulate. It is believed that laissez-faire would produce the best results possible. People had a favorable preference for expenditure over future spending. As a result, they overestimated their future requirements by refusing to save unless and until provide a financial incentive. That's all.
First and foremost, the tenets of marginalist school became lasting contribution are the marginalist and neoclassical employment theory outdated. Keynes emphasized the alleged composition fallacy linked with marginalist and classical employment theory. If a company lowers its salaries, it can grow its market by selling more things for less money. Secondly, the assumption of pure competition outdated was a reasonable abstraction looking backward from the 1870s. Furthermore, as competition decreased after the 1870s, it was too limited to be helpful. Only a few industries of the economy are now solely determined by competition. Thirdly, marginalists fail to explain economic growth. The school has been unable to explain economic growth, and its theory was found to be unsuitable for a country that was still developing. The last one will be the deductive method. The analysis of marginalists was static, timeless, and unstated with empirical evidence, challenged by inductive method. In this slide, I would like to explain about the contributions of Francis Edgeworth, since my group members chose him as one of the economics in marginalist school. He born in Edgeworthstown, Ireland. He also one of the founders of the Royal Economic Society. He has a student at Trinity College, Baylor College, and Oxford. Moreover, Edgeworth studied Asian and modern languages. He studied mathematics and economics only after his university education had finished. He became the Tuck Professor of Political Economy at Oxford. As Francis Edgeworth's biography details, he is the first editor of the Economic Journal in 35 years. About 170 pages which he published, approximately 3/4 were concerned with statistical theory. He served as president of Statistical Society and fellow British Academy. And lastly, in 1881, he published Mathematical Physics, which became his most famous and original book. In this slide, I would like to explain about the contributions of Francis Edgeworth in modern economics. He accepts Bentham's notion, which is every person is a pleasure machine. then differential calculus is the best tool for analyzing economic behavior. He also contrasted the precision of mathematical economics to the zigzag winding of the flowery oath of literature. The zigzag path leads to new knowledge about economic problem. John Connet is the one of the pioneer in this area.
Now I'm going to present about indifferent curves and exchange. According to Hicks-Allen ordinal demand analysis, the indifferent curve reflects all combination of goods that provide the client the same level of pleasure. Indifferent analysis may be traced back to the work of late 19th century by Irish economists along with Italian economists. The indifferent curve depicts several types of combination, usually consumer goods that meet an individual equal yield utility. This curve will be drawn downhill from left to right and convex to the origin. This is because the combination of cumulatives indicated by the points are all equally desired.
Duopoly theory describes two firms producing the same good competing in price. Duopoly 1 will produce from 0 to Q1 and duopoly 2 will produce from 0 to Q2. Since the supply is finite, the duopoly will each charge the same price and the price will be set at PS. The demand curve for duopoly 1 and duopoly 2 are D1 and D2. MR1 and MR2 are marginal revenue curve. In order to gain market share from another competitor, one of the two duopolies must lower the price of goods and increase the output. Both duopolies are producing at the maximum output level. The price will not fall further and will remain at PY.
Marginal versus average product. Edgeworth's distinction between total product, marginal product, and average product are illustrated in a graph, where we can look at the figure 2 in the slide. And in figure 2, we can see that when the total product increases, the marginal product increases as well, and it rises above the average product. And because marginal product exceeds average product is rising as well. And whenever a number that is greater than the average is added to a total, the average must also rise. When total product rises at a slower rate, therefore marginal product will fall. When this happens, it is known as diminishing marginal returns. The marginal product will then drop below the average product, and the average product will be decreasing. And overall, it can be said that average product rises when marginal product exceeds average product, and average product falls when marginal product is less than average product.
Reason why we choose Francis Edgeworth is because Francis Edgeworth was a very influential development figure and the first to use advanced mathematics. He also contributed to statistical theory development and established a variety of mathematical tools such as Edgeworth box that have become economic theory standard. The advantage is it can depict an economy and determine their efficiency. Moreover, he introduced the Edgeworth theorem that allows you to examine a wide range from free market interaction. As a result, Edgeworth's work contributed to a greater understanding of trade connection and the construction of a better society.
As conclusion, generally, this marginalist school sought to advance the interests of all humankind through promoting a better understanding of how a market system efficiently allocates resources and promote economic liberty. The marginal analysis applied to the whole body of microeconomics. It is a progress in mathematization of economics, the only input to the new era of economic thinking of neoclassical economics. So, the marginal economics was only a transitory period between classical schools and neoclassical schools. Thank you.